Wow, it's so great to see you today. You know, everything's energy, and you know I'm all about yoga and energy. Today's show, we have Bree Zuck, the owner of her own yoga studio, and we have Joan Kazmarzik, who's been with me before in the past on 2 Old Broads, the owner and operator of Moondance Huskies, and of course you have me, Dr. Kat. You've seen me live stream, so many times. We hope to be going live stream next season, but this is the first show of Your Best You, okay? Now, what does that mean? What does it mean to be our best?
Maybe where you're coming from your highest and best self, and so that you can do the best for the highest good of everybody. So finding what creativity and soul, good, unconditionally loving heart stuff.
So it's about intention. I mean, our best you really does have to do with how we go about not so much what we're doing, but why and how we're doing what we're doing, asking ourselves.
And being aware of that.
Right, am I doing this for the highest of good?
Exactly.
Right, and how about being your best you? Doesn't that also have something to do with kind of like how we're in relationship with ourselves?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because if you have an antagonistic relationship with yourself, and you say, I can't do this, and I'm never going to be able to do this, and that's not, I'm not, how could you ever achieve it?
Exactly, yep.
Because basically what you're doing is you're just defeating yourself. You're just knocking yourself down, and that's not good. You have to be positive and bring yourself up and be positive and build yourself up. I'm trying to think of the right word.
Yeah, but just think of the world in which we live. We live in a tough world.
We do.
In a world where I have people coming and saying, I try to be positive, I try to be upbeat. The moment I walk out the door, I go into work, I get bombarded with this, I can't seem to get my balance and my ground. So I figured, okay, how can I help to address some of the issues that are coming up for all of us on an everyday basis that's not this ethereal, ooh, yoga, woo, or Reiki, ooh, what's that? Right. But how is it really grounded, okay? So
bring it into real life, bring it into everyday life.
I really want us to get able to say, I don't have to put on fancy yoga clothes, and I don't have to be able to go to a studio necessarily to do it. I can find someone who's going to help me learn and will work with me on an individual basis because it's about relationship.
Yep. The inner workings of like yourself so that you can connect with others in the most healthy way, and that you can, you know, we kind of all do connect in a way, our energy, you know, and so what we put out there is going to.
Here we go.
Yeah, and to build yourself, you know, to build yourself up, to build up each other.
Yes.
And support each other.
Yes, yes.
This is what we are. Here's a perfect picture. We are the world. And in the process of becoming, we're constantly transforming like a butterfly. Except we don't get the luxury that the butterfly gets. Because the butterfly gets to be a caterpillar.
Yeah.
And then it gets to go in this protective cocoon, and nobody has to touch it. Of course, you know, if you touch it, what happens?
It's like a baby in a womb almost.
Exactly. And we're constantly through our life process going through these evolutions. Now, for me, I'm, 64, 65. Bree, you're in your...
I'm 28.
28. Joan?
64.
So we evolve and we're changing with each stage of our life. and finding the new ground and the new balance as we become butterflies in our evolutionary process. So it's a beautiful thing to change, but it's not always easy for the people around you.
And it's not always easy for yourself going through the change. It's like you can either, and there's a lot of people I feel who maybe choose, I don't want to go through the change, because you have to face your demons and accept certain pains and guilt. I accept the pain of this. I accept that this, and I accept, forgive, release. Accept, forgive, release.
Forgiveness is the practice. It's the path of life. It's a constant path of forgiveness. We have to forgive ourselves first. In order to forgive ourselves, we have to love ourselves. If we don't have it, we can't give it. Because if I don't have glasses in my hands and you ask me for glasses, I don't have any glasses to give you. But if I have glasses, if I have forgiveness, because I've learned the path of forgiveness. Why? Because I've messed up in my life so many times. I'm 64, 65. I've come through the path. I've lost, I've loved, I've lost, I've yelled, I've sworn, I've cursed, I've fought, I've grown, I've evolved, I've hid, I've caved, I've grown, I've evolved, I've lost, I've grown, I've evolved, you know. And in order to be here in this process, we have to be able to be comfortable with ourselves going through the process. Because girls, you're going to get pregnant. Girls, you're going to have different parts of your life. You're going to have children to raise, or you're not going to have children to raise. Not all women
take that path.
Are even gifted with that gift of being able to have children. Okay? And then it's not always in their calling or their destiny to adopt or whatever. They're called to something else. So every one of us is so individually unique. So how do we be our best you? What I liked, what I heard you say was, people have a hard time because when you're programmed thinking, think about the foundational chakra. We're talking systems of human design. So I said, okay, 7 chakras. Next week I'll have the colors, but I have a lot of colors around. So it's the Roy G. Biv, the old rainbow living within inside of us philosophy. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, right? So we have all that living inside of us. How do we access it? We start with the feet. We're going to ground ourselves with the feet. So I want to ask a question. And I think this is something that I ask a lot of people. How do you get up in the morning? How do you wake up in the morning? Now, do you wake up to an alarm clock or a rock and roll station? Do you jump up and go get coffee and run out the door screaming and listening to the traffic, and you're in the car trying to eat something and drive? And then ask yourself, is that self-love?
No, because then you're exhausted. I did that on the way here today. I'm sorry.
So, you know, it really is about how we get up. And how we start our day, because downloading at night all that unconscious and subconscious and all that dream material is coming and rolling around, and we wake up with it. Okay.
Well, I always wondered about that. Yeah, like, are dreams random, or do they have meaning if there's a symbol or a theme that keeps coming up?
Right.
That means something.
Now, who keeps dream journals?
I don't.
Dream journals are a great practice to tap into that. But let's keep moving along, because we are going to focus on our feet, and we only have a 20-minute show. So here we are. We're talking about the feet. When you get up out of bed in the morning, the best thing to do is to just take a moment. And even, you know, my mom, she's passed away, but she used to, you know, rush up and be all fluttered. And I said, Mom, why don't you just sit in the bed for a minute and just take a moment to be in gratitude that we actually made it through another night, and we're here on planet Earth still, and everything seems to be working.
That's what I like to do.
Seriously. I mean, I think when you get older, these things start to hit you more. If you've almost died a couple times, it hits you more. And then the other part of the day is, how do you go to bed? And so, you know, what happens when you go to bed at night? And these are the two times, the poignant times of the day. Because what I hear most people say to me, I don't know what they say to you, and I hear it from you too, I don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time. I got to go to work. I don't have a lot of time.
And with technology and phones now, also, that has to be pretty damaging. You're laying in bed, and I mean, it depends what you're taking in. You know what I mean? When you're scrolling through Instagram, and it's like things that are not good for you, negative energy, where there's a lot of people my age or any age where you're scrolling and you're comparing, well, that person looks like they have the most perfect life because they're on a yacht going there, so they must be happier than me. And then that almost upsets more like mental health, where, you know, like...
Yeah, but what we see with our natural eyes is merely an illusion.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
and particularly in the world of the illusory world that we have here. And
yes.
on top of it, one has to always remember, we're not in 5G yet, which is going to be insane when we get there, but we're going. But I mean, all of this is like, how do we evolve on a planet with the technology and the information that we have now? Some of you have seen me probably on the Telescope show. Hi guys from Telescope, love you guys. But you know, we have alien encounters and we have visitations.
Yep.
And we have technology that came from Roswell that has enabled us to have the data that we're able to do now. Whether you believe it or not, one still wants to be able to take care of one's body when we're being bombarded with electricity. So I brought the little foot soak thing.
Oh.
And that's just as a little reminder at the end of the day.
Yes.
You know,
awesome.
We can always get a little container. Yeah, I like to pull out a lot of the old-time remedies, because no doctor is ever going to complain about you using safe alternative products that complement your care, because it's only going to help, okay? So we have a couple of little tools here. Dry brushing when you wake up in the morning. A lot of people think you got to take a shower, you got to take a shower, you got to take a shower. Okay, we need to look at the water consumption and the water, what's in it. So a lot of times we're overly cleansing our systems. So coconut oil and dry brushing is an alternative way. You don't wash your hair every day, do you? Some do, but it depletes the oils because we're living organisms, and we have organisms that live on our skin that help to protect us from disease. So if we're constantly washing ourselves with chlorinated water, we're killing that protective shield.
We're stripped away of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like with food even that they give us, you know, and that's
Yeah.
why eating natural and organic and all that stuff.
Yeah, or all these people that they use the antibacterial gels. Oh, they can't leave the house without, you know, taking their antibacterial rubs, and every 2 seconds they're rubbing their hands with it.
It makes for
it
MRSA, big, you think of a cockroach.
Because then you think, yeah, because that's why
They are able to keep adapting to the changes of the chemicals that are society. So, you know, I always talk about balance even with food.
Yeah.
Okay. But we'll talk about that throughout the shows, because every show we'll be talking more, and we'll be building on the chakras, and each time we'll build up more and more. So, you know, hopefully you can glean one thing out of it that is useful for you, or one little tidbit, and then you can take it to the next show and take a peek, and we'll keep building up. As I said, it's our first show, and we're operating with one camera today. But I want to have Bree do a flow for us and get herself ready for that. And while she's getting herself ready for that, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the tapping. Tapping is like realizing that we have all life forms living inside of us. Tapping is a form that helps us in healing. So just simple tapping of the feet.
Oh.
Just very simple tapping.
Oh, yeah.
And then being able to rub your feet and activate your feet. Here's the thing about the feet. There are mobility, and we have 2 legs. Unless you're a horse, you have 4 and you can run everywhere, okay?
Or a dog.
Or a dog. But we're humans and we have 2. So we really need to take care of our feet. You know, there are mobility. And as you get older, sometimes people forget. So you want to take care of your feet, take a look at your toes, make sure you touch each foot and love your feet, because your feet are going to carry you through life. We need our feet. All right. So here, Miss Bree is going to just give us what I thought we could do in the time that we have today, is a short little vinyasa flow of a couple of postures that seem to be very effective for grounding any time of the day. So if you're finding that you're getting yourself into an intense situation and you're feeling unstable, you can always just do one posture, and you'd be amazed when you combine that with the breath work of the 3-part breath, how all of a sudden your blood pressure and everything will become you'll feel the center of yourself come back. And that's something that feeds into your brain and you get reprogrammed. So let's just allow Brianna to take a few moments to take in some nice deep 3-part breaths. And noticing when she's breathing, that we're breathing from the belly on 1 and up to the ribs on 2, and then right up to the throat chakra up to 3. So we're filling the entire cavity. And Joan, you can do it while you're sitting in a chair, because it's always helpful to be able to do anything in a modification, whether it's a posture on the floor or a posture in a chair. So that's the block. I brought a block for any kind of modifications. So why don't we go up and do into a stand, and we can do a nice tree. Okay. And one of the things I always like to do when I'm teaching, and I know Bree does it too, is bring attention to the feet first thing always when we go into a standing posture. And make sure you can open up the toes and spread those toes nice and wide so you can feel your feet on the ground. There's nothing better than feeling grounded when everything else is going crazy around you. So grounding just with a simple tree, and I'm going to let Bree go.
All right, you can start here. So you can either keep your foot on the ground and press your heel into your inside of your shin, and you want to pick a drishti, a focal point, or you bring your right foot to the inside of your right shin, keeping your focal point, imagining there's like a root going from the center of the earth through the bottom of the sole of your foot, maybe the color red, all the way up to your sacrum. And then if you want to use your hand to assist to bring your right foot to the inside of your left thigh, hands come to heart center, pressing your hands together at heart center, engaging your left quadricep muscle. Inhale, exhale. You can always bring tree branches, lift up. It's good to keep your focal point down for a drishti, but you can always try and keep your eyes closed. You can bring your thumb and your ring finger together, and that's a balancing mudra. Inhale, lengthen, feel that root from the center of the earth like a tree. Exhale, and then gently bring yourself back down.
That's beautiful, Bree. I loved that. What I would like to do is can we just do a standing mountain? And with the breath work, I'd like to just demonstrate another added little element. When Bree brings her hands up and lengthens, inhaling, I would like her to now envision, as you're reaching up to the ceiling, on the exhale, pressing your legs and your feet firmly into the floor, but extending. So you feel that you're extending from both sides and really pulling the middle down and going up, but having this interchange of a dialogue between the crown, the heavens, and the earth. Beautiful. And then again, with the breathing, we're going to go right into how about into a nice warrior 1 and warrior 2.
Warrior 1. If you want to step your right foot forward, left foot back, about 1 leg's length apart, front knee bent over front ankle. Arms can stay at heart center or come overhead. Press into the outside edge of your back foot, squaring the hips forward. Inhale, lifting up shoulders.
And breathing
down
again,
and
we're
back.
going to stretch up and at the same time press down.
Oh, and that's nice. I feel that, like the rooting more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we're using our breath, it's so vital because we're guided with the body, the critters inside, they just dig it, okay? They love oxygen, okay? Really. I did the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. I know how much the critters love oxygen. Okay, so then let's come up out of that. Over into the, this is the Warrior 2. Now you see it's nice and long. Now Brianna, remember, is a very advanced yoga instructor. So,
Options, you could lift your palms up.
right, anything, and you can see how long we're holding. I always say to people who want to work with weights, you don't need to use weights.
Not at all.
All right, let's bring that up.
Should I come up to reverse
Do
warrior?
a reverse, yeah, let's
A
just-
reverse, so our left hand to our left thigh. Inhale, lifting your right fingertips over like a rainbow to get that right side body stretch, your intercostal muscles in between your rib cage. And then on your exhale, you can come back to Warrior 2. If you want to transition to triangle, so you're in your Warrior 2. Straighten your front knee. And then imagine someone's pulling your front fingers forward and then your hips forward towards the back of the room. And your exhale, you can come down,
Perfect.
bringing your right hand to the inside of right shin, left arm up towards the sky. Yeah, there, yeah.
Perfect. Now see, these are considered basic, but they're intense.
Yeah.
And let's come out of this in a modified by just turning down and bring your hands down to the front and walk out with a nice little, turn, twist, dog, push, down dog posture.
Yeah.
Foot back, dog, up. There you go. And then the tailbone. And again, the down dog is great because again, you've got the ground, but now we have 4 legs now. Okay, 4 legs. And then let's come up in a modified. So do a nice gentle knee bend and then walk your hands up your legs because that will help for some.
Yeah.
And just doing a simple down dog stretch in the morning.
There, you always roll up, right?
Yeah,
To
do the
protect
nice
if
roll.
the neck.
Shoulder blades up, back, and down. Beautiful. That's so beautiful, isn't it? And then you have the bliss expression on your face after all this because you can't help but be blissful after you practice breath because the critters inside love oxygen. Mm-hmm. And that's really, I think anyone who's practicing yoga, if they're practicing it without breath, they might as well just put the mat back in the closet.
Yeah, because breath is the prana, the life force, and that's what the 7 chakras that we'll be talking about. It's chi, prana, life force, and each one is a circle that represents a different color and has a different component to it of what it does. And when they're all balanced, that's when you're able to hold those postures, but they're benefiting your mind, body, spirit, not just your spirit. So
Well, because we're all everything. And did I say everything? Everything is energy. So if you say, well, I didn't say that, but it was in your mind is manifesting your thoughts. Okay? So we know to be our best you, the best ticket we can take away from today is what? One thing. One thing.
One thing, balance.
Balance.
feeling comfortable in your own skin and holding the space for others, because a lot of times people hold the space for you, and so just giving that back, and that's love in itself, just holding the space.
The agape love, loving oneself to give balance, loving oneself to forgive oneself. We can't give what we don't have. If we're not balanced, we're not going to be able to present balance to anybody else. So that is about it for today's show. And as I said, I really appreciate the beautiful sisters coming on the show with me. Blessings of love and light. We're getting it started. And again, every show we'll try to, nail down a few little topics, and we'll be open to your questions, and we'll have our websites up. So if you want to check us out, go over to our webpage. I'll have all that on the, on the, at the end of the show, credits. So yeah, you'll be able to see us and visit us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and we'll be here and back. And thanks for dropping in. And remember, love yourself. Get up slowly. Take the time to be gratitude. Do a little foot bath at the end of the day. Remember, your feet are your friend.
And breathe. Yeah. Anytime anything bad or tough, just breathe. Inhale through the nose. Exhale what you don't want. Inhale what you're looking for. Exhale what you don't want.
Right. And take a few minutes for yourself every day. Take some time. Do something you love. to help you.
Compromise elsewhere.
Yeah, just
Compromise elsewhere. Never let anyone steal your joy.
That's
Take
right.
the time to be you.
exactly. Take the time to
Take
be.
the time to breathe.
Yeah.
Take the time to be with one another and love one another. Share the agape love. You know, if you see someone who could use a little assistance and you happen to have the energy, give them a little help.
Exactly.
I mean, karma is everything. Everything is karma.
There's-
Everything is energy. If you think nobody's watching, ha, ha, ha. Because spirit's everywhere, and you're on candid camera.
Not just
See ya.
nutmeg. Not just nutmeg.
See ya, and blessings of love.
Namaste. Love you.